I would say, not having looked at anybody's schedule other than our own, we have the most exciting, challenging last week of the regular season that anybody could hope to have, want not to have. It'll be good for TV, good for the newsprint, and the coaches will all be nervous on both sides. Vegas tonight or tomorrow in their last home game, and I talked on and on about the way that we've played when we played Vegas over the last 10 years, and I would expect nothing less on Wednesday. Two teams that respect one another but desperately want to beat the other, and we've had a lot of very close, tough basketball games, and I would anticipate that we would have another one on Wednesday. I don't need to repeat the challenges that they pose. They're good. They're very athletic. They run. They can shoot the three. They got a shot blocker extraordinaire that I think the first 4 shots we took in our first game were blocked. So we are determined that we will go in and compete hard and hopefully make shots like we did the last couple games. And if we do that, we'll have a very good opportunity to be successful. Anything for me?
Coach, with Roscoe Smith out, does your game plan change or do you just keep it the same?
And it's basically going to be the same thing.
Okay.
It'll depend on who's out there in that other big spot. So Sosha has started for them. And I would think on senior night he would probably start, maybe get more minutes. Wood presents a little different set of problems with his ability to shoot the outside shot. So we'll have to be able to know when he's out there and not give him unguarded shots because he's looking to take the perimeter jump shot as well as with the 6'10", 6'11" size go inside. So, but basically we'll just be playing. We'll be doing the same thing that we would do if he were in there.
Coach, you could have the most conference victories that you've ever had. What does that mean to you?
If we win the next 2, it'll mean a lot. We set out beginning of the season, we wanted to win the Mountain West Conference regular season. In order to do that, we've got 2 more games that we need to win. So we're playing more games this year than we've ever played also. We've played as few as 14, we're playing 18 now. So we've won the league before, and that didn't matter how many we won, it felt extraordinary. And we're hoping that we can do that again. I think most people thought that all teams would have more than 2 losses, and right now there are 2 of us still with 2 losses.
Coach, you know, you and UNLV have played pretty similar games in the last few years. You know, man-to-man defense. It's been a kind of a slog it out type game. Some have been pretty low scoring. All of a sudden, you guys have changed your offense. They played 40 minutes of zone defense. Are you looking at tape and saying, who is this UNLV team?
We're wondering, will they play 40 minutes of zone against San Diego State? I don't think so, but will they play zone? Absolutely. Will they start in zone? I don't know. Air Force is a hard team to guard. We all know that. And, you know, especially if you've got 2 bigs you're playing the whole time, I mean big bigs, it makes it even more difficult. So they found something that worked, obviously. I don't know that they went into that game intending to play 40 minutes of zone, but you're right, they did. I watched the game. And they were pretty good with it. They make you take perimeter shots and they limit you to 1 shot, and that's a pretty good recipe.
A little weird to see them play zone?
I'm sorry?
Is it a little bit bizarre to see them play that much zone just because of what they've done in their history?
I haven't seen it yet playing against us, so we'll wait and see. I remember several years ago when Charlie Spoonhour was the coach, and they came in here to play us at our place. and he came out and played zone to start the game, and we couldn't do anything against it, so he played it for an extended period where I think he intended to just play it to give us a little curveball to start the game, but it worked, so he stayed with it for a long time. So I'm sure that if they play zone or when they play zone against us, if it's effective, why change it? So we're gonna have to score against it to get them out of it when they play it, I would think.
Coach, you mentioned how earlier, I believe Kim Birch, he had 5 blocks in the last game when you two played. What are you kind of expecting out of the matchup between him and Skylar Spencer? It seems like Spencer has kind of improved inside in terms of his scoring. That seems like one of the key matchups that's going to be put on display on Wednesday.
Birch creates so many problems for you because he's always lurking around the rim. He's a little bit like Skylar in that standpoint, except he's a little bit more aggressive with his shot blocking and maybe a little bit more effective. He's been a thorn for us. He's been somebody that's created a lot of problems for us. Obviously guarding Skylar, but guarding anybody that comes driving to the rim. That's his home, and he doesn't want anybody to get near it, and he makes it hard for you. So we'll hopefully be able to do some things to get it to the rim, but he's been a difficult guy for not only us, but for a lot of teams to go to the rim and score baskets on, because he's coming over to block shots, alter shots. Again, not unlike Skylar for us, and he's very effective at it.
Steve, what's the atmosphere like at the Thomas and Mack compared to the Pitt or Utah State or here at the House? Is it on the same level as those places?
When it's full, it's as good as any in the country. I think sometimes as fans we get spoiled a little bit and expect perfection, and when it's not there, they're not quite as supportive. And I don't mean to say that about Vegas fans, but I think that's fans in general. But speaking specifically of Vegas, if you look at what Dave Rice has done there, his first 2 years stacks up against any first 2 years of any coach in America. And everything's being compared to Jerry Tarkanian's undefeated and then the national championship team, and nobody's going to do that. So, but they come and they are supportive. They're loud and they are good. And it seems like when we play there, there's always more people than when other people come there. So I'm sure it's going to be a big crowd. It's their last home game to honor, the seniors, and it'll be a big crowd and it'll be loud. So it'll be similar to what we've seen on road trips of games that you mentioned.
Steve, you mentioned how exciting and challenging this week is. Is this team up for 2 high-stakes games in 4 nights?
We're hoping that we do. We're hoping that we get that opportunity. We are full bore, looking hopefully through the crosshairs at UNLV. And immediately after that game, we as coaches will turn our attention to the next one, which is New Mexico. And I don't think any of us right now are thinking about conference tournament, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody speculates, who will you play? And no, I'm worried about this one and then New Mexico after this one. And hopefully we'll get a chance to play 3 games in 3 days. If we do, the depth we talk about having should be an asset to us.
Well, actually, I meant that tomorrow night and then Saturday night. You have to beat Vegas to set up the winner-take-all against New Mexico Saturday night for the conference title.
Probably fitting that it comes down to us having to play like this. Obviously, we'd rather be playing Vegas at home, but we're glad we got New Mexico at home. So we would like to be playing for the outright conference championship on Saturday. In order to do that, we need to get a win tomorrow night. Our players know that. They know the importance that we've attached to being successful, and it has so many ripple effects to everything. You get 26 wins now, you host serve, and the people that are talking later on about where you are in your final, or in the Big 64 selection, all the things that go into it. But the most important thing for us is we want to win the conference.